So like I said, I would explain a lot of things in my last video. And this was one thing. I'll show you a picture and then a video. And I'll explain this in A main. But yeah, that happened. Then let's talk about qualifying. And this is where we found out that we had a stagger problem from the previous race to this race that I'm talking about right now. Qualifying 16th out of 24. Josh, what's going on? And I was borrowing the motor too. So what happened to my motor? I don't know. Like George was saying that he had a guy that was testing it. He said the motor was fine, but what George thought, since he changed the ignition coil, he might have thought that might have been a problem. Like I wasn't giving enough spark, so my spark was maybe a little weak or something. He wasn't really sure. But yeah, I was borrowing this motor, and this motor was fast. I ain't kidding you. So, oh, by the way, same pipe. You see this pipe got damaged too. And actually, that dent was in the A main. I actually told George about that. And, no, just leave the dent, I guess. But like I said in qualifying, it wasn't. This motor was really fast, but the car was pushing a lot. I only had 1 inch of stagger, and I had to deal with that for the heat race because we didn't have enough tire. We didn't. Yeah, Josh, we did not have enough tire to race the heat race. There's your joke of the race weekend, I guess. We didn't have enough tire to race the heat race. There you go. So, during the heat race, since I didn't have enough stagger, only 1 inch, the car was still pushing. I wasn't allowed to run the low line. I was staying the high line because I wouldn't turn. It was that bad. And this motor was so fast. I would get on the gas and go, raw! And I was getting in the mud, and I heard the motor screaming the whole time. I was like, Jesus, the motor's screaming, but the car just won't go because the stagger is just that bad. And since I was in the mud too, it was spinning too, so you know why not. And so yeah, I started fourth and finished fourth out of 6 drivers because there's always 6 drivers in a heat race. So that's why I changed both rear tires, especially the Hoosier being a wider tire than the Burris. So like, even though a Hoosier is the same, come on phone, it's the same, dimensions from each manufacturer, that said, but the Hoosier is wider than the Burris. No matter what compound it is, the Hoosier is always wider than the Burris. That makes it taller, and that's why. And it gave me 1.25 inches for the A main, and apparently when I checked it after the A main, it went up to 1.5 inches. So either the Hoosier decided to get taller by itself, or I don't know, maybe that tire shrinked, even though tires don't really shrink. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do tires shrink? I don't know. But I know tires do get big. So the A main, and the beginning of the race, we were like 5 laps into the race. Like I said, this wing, I'll show you a picture in the beginning because this wing was fixed. And so what happened was, so I was in a high line. This motor was so fast, I would get on the gas. Since my stagger increased, I would get off the corner really fast, try to drag race the guy, and then he wouldn't stay in his lane. So he thought, I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. But so I was in my high line, I was side by side by him. Then he turned right into me. Then I slowed down. He went in front of me, hit the wall, flipped. I was turning left trying to avoid him. He hit my wing while he was flipping. And my friend Josh Daly got the video of me. Since he was there at the racetrack. He was there for 2 weekends in a row to be exact. And I'm glad he made that video because I was trying to figure out what was going on. And my wing get damaged. And so when he was flipping, he kind of hit this side, yanked it straight up, and pulled it sideways, and went up to about here. You can actually stick your fist in it if you wanted to. That's how much it was there. Then my wing tee got sideways. It was like, it's straight right now. It was sideways. This was sideways. It was a brand new wing tee I was borrowing too. And so that happened. And my roll cage got damaged too, because you know why not? Roll cage are meant to be damaged. We straightened this, but this was sideways too. This was sideways, so these mounts were kind of, like that. I can't really do it right now, but you get what I'm saying. So, after that wreck, then I was kind of noticing the car was doing something. And then it was the red flag. I was looking at my car. I was like, is the card okay? Is the card okay? Then my dad's like, your wing's garbage. I was like, oh no. We get in a race. We get going. I was running the low line, the high line. Then I noticed something. The car handled better. And the car handled better? The wing was sideways. It's damaged. And you say it's better? Josh, you, I don't know. Apparently it planted both rear tires to make it where the car was more planted. It almost, just almost, felt like the J-frame. And then once I felt it, I was like, oh man, let's get going. So I would run the low line a little bit, get in the high line, trying to pass people. More red flags happened, more yellows happened. I was giddy up, went up to 6th place in the last lap in the last corner, and something happened. Giddy up, what was it? Giddy up, 409. Giddy up, 409. My ignition died and the motor won't go anymore. Oh, by the way, that was a Beach Boys song that I said. And that's why I said giddy up 409. So, like I was saying earlier, I was getting up from like 16s or 18s all the way up to 6. And the ignition decided to break. I was mad. And I'm sure you guys would agree that if that happened to you, you guys would have been mad too. So, just to make sure it was the ignition, because I had plenty of fuel. My dad's like, do you want more fuel? I was like, no, I got plenty. 5 laps to go. In the last lap in the last corner, the ignition died. The reason why I knew that, because it stopped immediately. Then the quads pushed me. I was trying to think, okay, let's see what happens. Will this motor start? And it didn't start. It made a pow, 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 pow noise. And instead of getting up, giddy up, giddy stop. Yeah, that happened. Oh, come on. I was having a good day, man, with this motor. I was enjoying it. I was like, yeah, this motor rocks. The car was handling so much better. I was so happy. Even though my wing's damaged, it still handled better. Probably people think I'm crazy, because when I told my dad, he thought I was crazy when I told him that when the wing got damaged, the car handled better. Even though the stagger helped it, but the wing helped it too. So I don't know. Finished dead last again in AMA. I finished Actually, I didn't even finish. You can say that I did not finish. I didn't even close to the finish line. It stopped. Like I get in the corner, hit the gas. It was like burp. I got so mad. And when I went to the trailer, threw my steering wheel, I was like, "It's the stupid ignition." You had ignition problems twice this year. You had ignition problems once. The first thing was because what was it? Oh, because the spark plug wire only had one bronze wire connected. Then the second time it just ran slow for whatever reason. Then you exploded. Not really, but you broke. So that happened. I understand. Actually, I'm gonna title this video "So Many Things," or so many things happen. Too many things happen. Something like that. But yeah, that's the race, and a lot of things happen. So hopefully in the next video things will go better because I'm 11th in points, and if I had those two good races in a row, I would have been like 8th place maybe. 8th place in points. But I'm 20. No, I'm 30 points behind 10th. That's a lot of points. So that motor is now fixed now. The car's much better because it went from a 1 1/4 stagger to 1.5 by, I don't know why I didn't even air up that ride very tired to get 1.5 of stagger. So that's it for this race, and hopefully we could, like not have problems. But thanks to Grandpa George Becker for fixing my gas tank. Thanks to the number 14 for the tires. Because if it weren't for him, I would have not got the stagger I got with that Hoosier tire. And my dad bought a brand new Leopard tire, and it's eaten up. So with brand new tires, they eaten up. So that's it for this video. Peace.